Welcome back. I'm Frank Wazeter, and I've helped a dozen companies get to their first $1 million in a year through digital marketing. So I wanted to take about 10 minutes here and just share with you a few things that will really, if I could empower you with one thing that would make your web presence better, make your conversions better, absolutely serve you and make it so that you can actually scale up your campaigns. This is what I'm gonna empower you with. So I encourage you to stick along, kind of come through and watch the whole experience, because I will literally save you thousands of dollars just by going through this concept. Now, most of the time when I'm dealing with a new client or taking somebody on, they haven't really had the results that they've expected. So they all know that the internet works, they just haven't really figured out how to make the internet work to the level that they want. And over the course of the past few years, I've kind of gotten this reputation for being the web guy, which is kind of true. But websites are just the very beginning of what we do, and it's because that's always the place where companies need the most improvement. I mean, if you make a Facebook profile or you make an Instagram profile, you make all these other things, they only let you do a certain amount of things. You can only have a profile picture this big, you can only have this many words in your bio, you can only do so many actions. But when it comes to your website, literally, the sky's the limit. So what ends up happening is that everybody's they'll jump in and they'll say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and they end up with this website that they're doing everything all at once. I go to it and I see it and I'm like, oh, there's some text and a logo, and I get a pop-up box, saying, click here for my, new venture or my mailing list. And then right here, they're like, hey, come here, I want you to buy. And then they're like, okay, I need a coupon. And then, there's okay, I gotta have a social media feed here. And then I gotta have a blog. And then I gotta have, a product and a menu that goes down in this million. And then on mobile, they load the page, but half of the picture is over here, but then there's text over here. And it's just a bloody nightmare. And people sit there and they come and they're saying, Frank, my website's not working, or I'm not making enough money. I need a better AdWords expert, or I need someone who can really refine my my Facebook ad spend. Why isn't that working? Or my SEO, I lost all my rankings. And 9 times out of 10, what it comes down to is their experience just isn't good. If I wasn't a designer or a developer looking to help you, I'd go to your website and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm not gonna buy from you. I'm gonna go back. This thing looks like it was built in 2005. And I should know, I built my first website, professionally for Texas State University back in 2005 by hand. So I know what they would look like back then. And this happens usually out of good intentions. So usually what happens is that you see 4 or 5 websites that super inspire you, and you look at it and you're like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna follow those. And you try to, you go to this hopeless developer somewhere, that's either a college kid or in India or somewhere, you try to do it yourself, and it ends up this hodgepodge of a bunch of different tips and tactics and things like that from a whole bunch of different experts, all saying slightly different things, oh, you gotta have a newsletter for people to opt into, you need to put up a pop-up banner so that way that they, because it's proven that increases conversion by 85.9258 thousandths of a percentage more than not having it. And you need to do all these other things that are just individual, soldier in the field saying, okay, we're gonna go left, and then we're gonna, shoot the sniper in the pillbox or something like that, instead of just running at it. And individually, they work. Yes, there are certain colors that you can use to make your call to actions and your buttons and things like this get more people to click it. But fundamentally, at the end of the day, if your stuff sucks, it sucks. And the number one thing that you can do when you're saying, how do I, make it so that my advertising actually is working for me instead of against me, how does my digital marketing work for me and not against me, is simplify it. Everything can get complicated like that. It's tech. Like you can blink and then all of a sudden you're subscribed to 20 different things and you're trying to do 50 different tactics and tips. Get it down to the basics. Fundamentally, on your site, you need to answer the questions of what you do. Make it oriented towards the client first. One sentence. I help companies scale via the internet. I help people with busy schedules make sure their dogs get their appropriate exercise. If you're a dog walker, I create gorgeous dresses so that your big day is the perfect day if you're a wedding dress creator. For instance, if you're selling product, I have, there's an air filter I just bought. It says, I have reinvented, air filtration. Oh, finally, an air filtration that works. Basically, you want a sentence that, what you do for them, what's in it for your customer first. And one sentence, it's hard, it's not going to be perfect, just make it a sentence. Then the next, why you do what you do. What's the problem that you solve? What's the big pain that you take away? Again, customer focused, very clear. It can be a paragraph, it can be 2 paragraphs, it can be 1 headline, it's fine. But why are you doing it for them? Why are you in business? I'm in business because digital marketing is very difficult for most people to wrap their head around, especially when they're really good at doing the primary thing that they're in business for doing. The restaurant owner is good at food and cooking. The bridal dress shop owner is great at crafting amazing dresses. And to try to say, okay, I need to do digital marketing on top of that, just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That's why I'm doing it for you. And go into it. You can go into, then in the next details, you can say how we do it. How are we different? A great way to approach that is say, here's 5 or here's 3, 5, or 7, reasons, why we're different from the competition. I always say try to act as if you had no competition, and that'll get you, much better content than saying, oh well, the other guy just does it for cheaper, and I'm I'm better quality customer service, crap like that. Just how do you do it? What's your process? What do you look at? How can you help? Think of a way to give. Here's some resources. Like sometimes this could be an ebook, it could be a podcast, it could be steps that doesn't involve me giving you any money whatsoever. How are you going to give to your potential customers? How are you going to prove that you show up for them before they've even decided to do any business with you? Sometimes you can say, okay, give me your email for it. Technically, that's the correct answer. But you know what? If you're just getting started, just give it out for free. Just create, just be upfront. Just find something of value. This could be tips. This could be, know-how. This could be sharing your knowledge. This could be, a video resource. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be a podcast. It could be an ebook. It could be just something of genuine value that doesn't make someone feel like they got sold. And then, finally, at the end, you kind of go into and say, okay, this is how you can get a hold of me. Here's my contact information. Here's here's my phone number, my email, schedule a meeting with me, some kind of thing where they can actually take action if they like you and say, I'm going to go and move forward. So, it's kind of funny that the reason why most of these efforts fail is they say, I want you to give me money first. They don't focus on what they're doing, why they do it, or how they do it, and then focus on ways of contributing and giving. And yet, I guarantee you, any expert that's really big, or any big, company that's superly successful, they're hitting all of these things nonstop, especially the giving part. So I encourage you, if you have any more questions about this, reach out to me. Definitely, feel, I'd appreciate a follow. I'm going to continue, especially over the month of June, to publish every single day more things that can at least produce you $10,000 each day. Again, I'm Frank Wazeter. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.